Imagine facing the coldest winter without gas, without electricity, and without ever touching a thermostat. Sounds impossible, right? Not for the Amish. For generations, they've stayed warm using clever, frugal methods that cost almost nothing and work better than you'd think. Today, we're uncovering 25 powerful Amish secrets to keep your home cozy all winter long. No big bills, no modern gadgets, just simple, proven tricks that really work. By the end of this video, you'll see why sometimes the old ways are still the smartest ways. Wear long underwear. Few things are as unassuming yet powerful in the fight against winter's chill as a pair of long underwear. To the Amish, it's a non-negotiable during the colder months, and it's easy to see why. Long underwear sits right against your skin, acting like a second invisible layer of insulation. Whether made from cotton for everyday wear or wool for extra warmth, these garments transform your regular clothing into a winter-ready shield. They function like a thin blanket wrapped snugly around your body, holding in precious warmth that would otherwise leak out. What makes them especially clever is their invisibility. You can wear them under jeans, dresses, or work clothes, and no one would ever know, but you'll certainly feel the difference when icy winds blow. Unlike turning up a thermostat, which burns through cash and energy, long underwear is a one-time investment that pays for itself year after year. The Amish wear them religiously through the coldest days, knowing that even the draftiest farmhouse can feel tolerable with this simple base layer. It's proof that sometimes the most practical solutions are also the most affordable. Add a layer you can't see, and suddenly, winter feels much less harsh. Layer up. One of the oldest and most reliable ways to stay warm without relying on modern heating systems is to simply layer your clothing, a method the Amish have practiced for generations. Instead of depending on gas furnaces or electric space heaters, they know that the human body is the most efficient heater of all. The trick is trapping that heat close to your skin. Start with a snug base layer of thermal undergarments, which cling to the body and prevent warmth from escaping. Add a thick wool vest, which creates a dense but breathable barrier, and then top it off with a cozy flannel shirt. Together, these natural fabrics form insulating air pockets that capture warmth and stop cold drafts from penetrating. Unlike cranking up the thermostat, layering gives you control. You can peel off pieces when you're too warm, or add more when the chill bites deeper. The Amish have refined this system into everyday life, often combining cotton and wool garments that balance comfort with practicality. Layering not only saves money, but also reconnects us with a time-tested principle. Rather than heating an entire house, simply keep your own personal furnace running efficiently with the right clothing choices. It's flexible, affordable, and it works as well today as it did centuries ago. Wool socks. There's a reason why seasoned farmers and outdoor workers swear by wool socks, and why the Amish consider them essential winter wear. Your feet act as your body's thermostat. When they're cold, your whole body feels cold. That's why wrapping them in wool makes such a dramatic difference. Unlike thin cotton socks that lose their warmth when damp, wool fibers trap heat while still wicking away moisture, keeping feet both dry and toasty. This natural insulation has been keeping you warm for centuries, and Amish families rely on it during long days spent outdoors tending animals or hauling firewood in freezing weather. Wool socks aren't just practical, they're durable too. With care, a good pair can last for years, far outlasting cheaper alternatives. They even fight off odor, thanks to wool's natural antibacterial properties, which means fewer worries about smelly boots after a long day. The Amish know that comfort begins from the ground up. If your feet are happy, the rest of your body follows. By investing in solid wool socks, you not only protect your toes from frostbite-level chills, but also ensure that winter feels far less biting, no matter how low the mercury drops. Wrap up in blankets. Sometimes the most obvious solutions are the most powerful, and nothing illustrates that better than the humble blanket. For the Amish, blankets are more than functional. They're family heirlooms, often hand-stitched into intricate quilts that tell stories across generations. These thick, layered quilts are masterpieces of both art and utility, designed to trap heat during even the coldest nights. The trick lies in layering. Start with a heavy wool blanket at the bottom, and add lighter quilts on top, creating pockets of warm air that act like insulation. Much like how birds fluff their feathers to stay warm, humans can replicate the effect with multiple blankets. Beyond the bedroom, Blankets are scattered throughout Amish living rooms and kitchens, always ready to be wrapped around a chilly child or a weary farmer after chores. They turn a drafty farmhouse into a cocoon of comfort without ever touching a dial on a thermostat. For modern households, investing in a few high-quality wool or quilted blankets pays off immediately. Keep them draped over couches, folded at the end of beds, and stacked in easy reach. Instead of heating empty air, you're heating yourself, with a tradition as warm and enduring as the fabric itself. Heating pads or warm stones. Long before the invention of electric blankets and plug-in heating pads, people relied on a much simpler and surprisingly effective method: heating stones. The Amish still practice this timeless trick, proving that the old ways can be just as comfortable as modern conveniences. Stones are placed on or near a wood stove until they're piping hot, then carefully wrapped in thick cloth to prevent burns. These warm bundles are tucked under blankets, placed at the foot of beds, or rested near cold feet while sitting by the fire. The stones release heat slowly, often lasting through the night, providing steady warmth without the need for electricity. It's a personal heater that you can move wherever you need it most. For those without a wood stove, modern heating pads offer a similar effect: localized warmth that's fast, efficient, and far cheaper than running a whole house system. The Amish show us that warming people, and not entire rooms, is the smarter approach. A heated stone by your toes or a pad on your back while reading accomplishes far more comfort at a fraction of the energy cost. This simple, targeted method is proof that with a little creativity, staying warm doesn't have to mean burning through your budget. Seal drafts around windows and doors. Even the coziest home can feel icy if cold air sneaks in through cracks and gaps. Amish families who live in homes without modern insulation have become masters of draft-proofing with simple, resourceful methods. They treat every crack like a hole in a winter coat, small but capable of draining away precious warmth. The process starts with detection. On a windy day, hold a piece of cloth or a candle near windows and door frames. If the flame flickers or the cloth moves, you've found your enemy. From there, Amish ingenuity takes over. They fill the gaps with whatever materials are on hand: old rags, strips of wool, or even dry hay packed into cracks. Around doors, rolled up towels make an effective barrier, while strips of cloth can be pressed into window gaps for a snug seal. The principle is clear: stop cold air at the source, and the warmth you already have will stay inside. This thrifty approach requires no fancy equipment and almost no expense, yet the difference in comfort is enormous. Modern homeowners can follow the same logic with weather stripping or caulk, but the lesson is timeless. Seal the leaks, and your home's warmth will finally belong to you. Curtains and drapes windows are often overlooked as a major source of heat loss in winter, but the Amish treat them with the same seriousness as an open door. To them, curtains and drapes aren't just decorations. They're functional barriers that act like coats for your glass panes. Thick, heavy fabrics such as wool or lined cotton are hung to block out the icy air that seeps in, creating an extra insulating layer between the home and the cold outdoors. The Amish have refined this into a daily routine. Curtains are thrown wide open in the morning to welcome free heat from the sun, turning each window into a miniature solar heater. But as soon as the sun dips below the horizon, every curtain is pulled shut to trap that warmth inside, preventing it from leaking out through the chilled glass. The method is simple, effective, and timeless. Proof that nature provides both light and heat if we learn to harness it. For modern households, upgrading curtains to thermal drapes, or even adding DIY liners to existing ones can drastically cut heating costs. Think of curtains as insulation you can open and close at will, a tool to regulate your home's comfort without ever touching a thermostat. Draft dodgers. Few things are as simple yet effective as a draft dodger. Those long, narrow tubes of fabric that sit at the base of doors or windows. The Amish often make theirs from scraps of cloth stuffed with straw, wool, or even old rags, creating a surprisingly efficient barrier against sneaky drafts. It's a humble but powerful tool. Cold air that normally slides under a door is stopped in its tracks, while warm air stays locked inside. The beauty lies in how easily you can replicate the trick. Use a pair of old socks filled with rice or beans, stitch together a fabric tube, or even repurpose pantyhose filled with cat litter or sand. Once placed at the threshold of an unused door or drafty window, it quietly does its job all winter long. The Amish sometimes get creative, making draft dodgers that double as decorative pieces, with colorful fabrics or stitched designs, turning a practical solution into something that brightens the home. They remind us that keeping warm doesn't have to be expensive or complicated. It can be as easy as sliding a homemade pillow into place. One small action, repeated across every drafty spot, can transform a house from chilly to cozy. Exercise to stay warm. The Amish never sit still for long, and that's not just because of chores. It's also a built-in way to stay warm. Movement generates heat, and when every family member is feeding animals, hauling firewood, kneading dough, or playing outdoor games, their bodies are working as natural furnaces. This approach costs nothing and keeps both body and home lively during long winters. Even small tasks raise your core temperature. Sweeping floors, climbing stairs, folding laundry, or even dancing around while tidying up can turn a chilly room into a tolerable one. The Amish instinctively weave physical activity into daily life, eliminating the need for exercise machines or gyms. And science backs them up. Physical activity raises metabolism, which means the warmth lingers even after you sit down. Modern families can learn from this. When the cold seeps in, don't just reach for the thermostat. Stand up, stretch, walk around the block, or tackle a simple chore. You'll be warmer, healthier, and more productive all at once. To the Amish, warmth is earned not only through fire, but through motion, a lesson that proves the human body is one of the most reliable heaters of all. Wood-burning stove. Few symbols of Amish life are as iconic as the wood-burning stove, and for good reason. It is the primary source of heat in many Amish homes, radiating a kind of warmth that feels deeper and more comforting than forced air systems. Properly placed in the center of the home, a single stove can heat an astonishing amount of space. The Amish understand the importance of choosing the right wood. Hardwoods like oak or maple burn hotter and longer, while softer woods like pine are used for kindling. Beyond heating, the stove's top is a versatile tool. Water kettles stay warm there, meals simmer slowly, and even damp mittens dry out after snowy chores. For families with access to firewood, the stove is also cost-efficient. Cutting your own wood reduces fuel bills to nearly zero. Of course, the Amish also emphasize safety and upkeep, regularly cleaning out ashes and keeping chimneys clear to prevent dangerous buildup. While some areas now restrict wood stove use, in Amish country it remains a lifeline during brutal winters. It embodies everything their lifestyle values: simplicity, resourcefulness, and the ability to thrive without dependence on modern utilities. Close off unused rooms. Heating an entire house is unnecessary when most of life happens in just a few rooms. The Amish understand this well, so they close off spare bedrooms, storage spaces, and unused areas, focusing warmth on the rooms where the family actually gathers. Doors stay shut, sometimes with rolled-up towels or draft stoppers at the base, to ensure that cold air stays out and heat stays in. This strategy is simple, but incredibly effective. By confining warmth to the kitchen, living room, and work areas, the home feels much cozier without extra fuel or expense. Bedrooms may be left cooler during the day, only opened briefly before bedtime to let some warmth drift in. The Amish know that heating empty rooms is like pouring water into a bucket with holes, wasteful and pointless. For modern households, this means getting strategic. Shut doors to guest rooms until visitors arrive, keep little-used dining areas closed, and focus your heating on where you live, not where you don't. It's a form of energy triage. Direct warmth where it's most needed, and stop wasting it where it's not. Simple doors, wisely managed, become tools of frugality and comfort. Rice heating packs. Among the Amish, resourcefulness is second nature, and rice heating packs are a prime example of turning humble ingredients into comfort. These simple devices are fabric pouches filled with uncooked rice, warmed on a wood stove, or for non-Amish, in a microwave. Once heated, they act like personal portable heaters, radiating steady warmth for up to an hour. They're incredibly versatile. Slip one into bed to preheat cold sheets, drape it over shoulders to soothe tense muscles, or tuck it behind your back while reading. Some people sew small versions for pockets, creating hand warmers for outdoor chores. The Amish often add herbs or dried lavender, turning each pack into a source of soothing scent as well as heat. Unlike electric heating pads, rice packs require no power, cost pennies to make, and can be reused indefinitely. They prove that warmth doesn't have to come from high-tech gadgets. It can be created from pantry staples and a bit of cloth. In Amish households, this small invention is both practical and comforting, blending thrift with effectiveness in a way that modern convenience rarely matches. Wear a sweater or jacket indoors. Before reaching for a thermostat, the Amish reach for an extra sweater. It's such a basic idea that many overlook it, yet it's incredibly effective. A good wool sweater acts like a portable heater, moving with you from room to room and conserving warmth right where you need it most, your body. Unlike artificial heat that spreads thinly through an entire room, clothing layers trap warmth immediately, making them more efficient. The Amish rely heavily on natural fibers like wool and cotton, knowing these materials retain heat far better than synthetics and continue to insulate even when slightly damp. Indoors, it's common for them to wear vests, jackets, and sweaters layered over everyday clothes, creating comfort without needing to heat empty air. This method also allows flexibility. You can shed a layer if you're working and getting too warm, or add one during quiet evening reading. Some even keep house sweaters, favorite cozy garments reserved for winter lounging. For the Amish, warmth isn't about controlling the environment. It's about controlling how your body interacts with it. One simple garment can save endless amounts of fuel and money, proving the smartest heater is the one you wear. Keep doors closed. It's the oldest parental warning in winter. Shut the door. You're letting the heat out. The Amish live by this rule, knowing that every open door is like throwing warmth away. They are vigilant about closing doors immediately, making it a habit that keeps their carefully maintained warmth from escaping. But they don't stop there. Many add strips of cloth or wool along the edges of door frames to seal tiny gaps, essentially giving the door its own insulation. Some even hang heavy curtains over doors for extra protection. It's a small discipline, repeated daily, that makes a huge difference in comfort and efficiency. Modern households can benefit from adopting the same habit, teaching children and adults alike to be mindful of heat loss. Think of it as guarding your home's warmth the way you'd guard money. After all, every degree of lost heat eventually costs you. Simple mindfulness, combined with practical enhancements, ensures that the warmth you've worked to create stays inside, exactly where it belongs. Create small warm zones in your home. Why heat every room when most of life happens in just a couple? The Amish create warm zones around stoves or heaters, concentrating comfort where it matters most. Families gather in these areas for meals, work, and relaxation, often arranging furniture close to the heat source to make the most of it. Bedrooms, bathrooms, and less used spaces are left cooler, conserving both fuel and effort. This strategy is practical and efficient, reducing wasted heat and drawing family members together. For modern homes, the same principle applies. Focus your heating on the living room and kitchen. Use space heaters sparingly, and create cozy corners where the family naturally congregates. Add blankets, rugs, and warm lighting to make these zones even more inviting. The result is a home that feels warm where you need it, without the cost of heating empty rooms. The Amish remind us that comfort doesn't mean warming the entire house. It means making the spaces you use feel welcoming and alive. Chimney and stove maintenance. Finally, no heating system works well without care, and the Amish emphasize this lesson through meticulous stove and chimney maintenance. Burning wood leaves behind creosote, a sticky residue that can clog chimneys and, if ignored, ignite into dangerous fires. To prevent this, Amish families clean their chimneys regularly, especially before winter begins and during the season if they burn large amounts of wood. Ash is also cleared from stove bottoms to ensure airflow, keeping fires efficient and hot. Even the seals on stove doors are checked. A worn gasket means lost heat and wasted wood. This dedication to upkeep ensures safety, efficiency, and long-lasting warmth throughout the winter. For modern families, the takeaway is simple. Treat your heating system like a car. Regular tune-ups prevent breakdowns and ensure peak performance. Whether you use a wood stove, fireplace, or even a furnace, maintenance is the unsung hero of warmth. The Amish remind us that frugality isn't just about using less, it's about protecting the systems that give you comfort in the first place. Create a candle heater. Candles are usually associated with light and ambiance, but in Amish households, they also serve as a modest source of heat. By combining a few candles with a terracotta flower pot, the Amish have long known how to create a mini space heater. The setup is simple. Candles are placed inside a metal container, and the pot is inverted over them. The clay absorbs the heat, which is then radiated outward steadily, like a small fireplace. It won't heat an entire home, but it can make a cold room feel surprisingly cozy. This method costs next to nothing, especially when the candles themselves are homemade. The soft glow adds atmosphere as well, making the space both warmer and more inviting. Safety is crucial, of course. These heaters must be placed on stable, fireproof surfaces and never left unattended. For modern homes, it's a clever emergency option or a way to supplement warmth in a single space. The Amish prove that even something as humble as a candle can serve multiple purposes when used wisely. And there you have it, 25 Amish ways to stay warm without gas or electricity. From layering clothes and sealing drafts to harnessing the sun and maintaining a trusty wood stove, these time-tested methods prove that comfort doesn't have to cost a fortune. Which of these tips will you try this winter? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more Amish frugal living ideas. Stay warm, stay cozy, and I'll see you in the next video.